Happy Friday, everyone. Hope your day is off to a great start. Welcome to my Friday Coffee and a Card Live. I'm so glad you're here with me this morning. It is sunny out. Very, very sunny. Going to get to a high of 89 today, and that's great because it's the last day we're going to be under that 90-degree threshold for a while. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I'm in the right place. I hope I went to Crazy Stampin' Lady. Oh, good. Francis, you are here. That makes me happy. Then I must be up and running. Let me check. There I am. Sometimes I get nervous. I was running a bit late and I do things quick and who knows. Anyway, we're going to be under 90 degrees today for the last day and then the next 7 days. Yikes. Even up to 98 and 99. 2 of those days. Where is my fall weather? I am so waiting for that. So, hi Melinda, glad you are here. Again, welcome. If you're watching this morning, please take a second to say hello and let me know that you're on and watching. I love to know you're here. It makes me know I'm in the right place, right time, all of that good stuff that sometimes I just don't know. Today is Friday, August 23rd. Hi, Shar. Glad you are here. I could use some good thoughts. I am a little nervous today. I am doing a vendor fair tomorrow. It's actually a craft fair locally, which is nice. It's all day, and I'm doing it to get new customers. That's what I did in Arizona, and I haven't done that yet here at all. So I've decided to do it, and I'm going to have a booth there, and I'm excited about all that. It looks to be a great vendor fair or a great craft fair. The problem is these people are amazing. Vendors are professional here. I am looking at the booths that they started setting up and the pictures of them and thinking, holy smokes, I have one table with a few cards, and I'm mainly just trying to get people to come to my classes. So it's making me a little nervous. I'm trying not to panic and trusting that this is what I should do. I felt like it should be what I was supposed to do. So I'm hoping that is all right. But if you have a moment to say a prayer to calm my nerves, I will take it. I'm a professional. Thanks, Shar. I'm feeling really unprofessional when I see what everyone else has got. But you know what? I'll do my best. I'm giving it to God, and hopefully I'll find people that are looking for something like what I have to offer. So, my name is Maureen Rolfes, also known as the Crazy Stamping Lady. I have been an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for over 27 years, and I love what I do. I'm coming to you from Murfreesboro in Middle Tennessee, and I am here to help you learn the joy of card making, tips and tricks to make your card making easier, and encouragement to send out those beautiful creations of yours to make somebody else's day and bring some joy. Please be sure to say hello in the comments so I know you stopped by. If you're watching on the replay, let me know that. As always, I will be drawing from all of the comments left today through at least midnight tomorrow to give away the card I make today, and then I will draw the next morning for that winner. Congratulations to the winner of my last card, my paper pumpkin card from last time. That was Lori Wycott, and Lori, that is on its way to you in the mail. Hi, Karen. Hi, Kathy. Let's see what else. If you can share my video, if you can share to your homepage, to a crafty friend, to a crafty group you belong to a community group, any of those things, I really appreciate it if you do that. That just gives me more exposure for my small business. Hi, Greg. Thanks for popping on and saying hi. That's my brother. He is on there. Hi, Sarah. Glad you are here. So yeah, if you can share, please let me know, and I will give you a bonus entry for today's drawing. Okay, guys, that's it. I'm going to take you down to the table. You'll see my beautiful greenness outside. Hopefully I'm in the right spot here and things are lined up. This is me, Maureen Rolfes, the Crazy Stamping Lady. My blog is crazystampinglady.blogspot.com. My email is crazystampinglady@gmail.com, and I just spit on my paper. Excuse that. Facebook is facebook.com/crazystampinglady. My YouTube is under my name, Maureen Rolfes, and you can shop with me at stampingwithmaureen.stampinup.net. If you shop with me in the month of August, please use this hostess code. That gets me the most benefits for your order, and it allows me to get freebies that I can give back to you for prizes, for my free kits, and for other challenges I have. So I love it when you do that. If your order is over $150 pre-shipping and handling and tax, then don't worry about the hostess code. Put in your order and you will earn some hostess rewards of your own. No cards to share today from friends, so we're going to move right on. Bonus days redemption. This month you must redeem the bonus day coupons you earned last month. On August 31st at midnight, those coupon codes will go away and you'll no longer be able to use them. And that is midnight Mountain Time, so be aware of that. If you earned coupons and you cannot find them, let me know and I will see what I can do to help you. But you do need to redeem them this month if you want to get those $5 off bonuses. If you have more than one coupon, you can use them all on one order, which is fantastic. My free monthly class, any order this month will earn you a handmade thank you card from me, and all orders placed during the month will go into a prize drawing at the end of the month. But if your order is $50 or over and you use my hostess code, you will get 3 free card kits from me. $75 will get you 3 free card kits and a bonus project, and $100 will get you those 3 free card kits, a bonus project, and a half a pack of an embellishment. These are usually retired product because I am giving them away free to you, but it doesn't matter for you. They are beautiful brand new product and you can use them and you can duplicate the cards that we make with current stuff if you want to make more. Yeah, I think that is about it. I love it when you guys order. I love doing these classes and these kits for you. All kits will be mailed out by September 1st, and the September kits class for the August purchases will be on Monday, September 9th at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Time, right here on this page, open to anyone who wants to watch. Designer Series paper sale is still going on, 15% off all of these beautiful Designer Series papers. These are from the annual catalog, and we're going to be using one of them today, the Wildly Flowering. And I did not have that before. It was one of them that I purchased because of this sale. And let me tell you, I don't know why I didn't have it, because it is gorgeous paper, and you'll see it up close and personal in a minute. And then my upcoming fall catalog paper share. I am doing a paper share of a quarter pack of each of these 7 packages of Designer Series paper out of the upcoming catalog. Now, if you want to see them closer and what they look like, go to my last video from Tuesday, and I went through all those packets so you can see all the designs and what you're getting. They will be cut to 6 by 6, so they're easier to mail to you. $27 for local pickup, $35 if I have to ship it to you. You can pay by Venmo or send me a check. Just drop me an email at crazystampinglady@gmail.com if you're interested. And each share ordered is going to get a bonus from me of a half a package of the Real Red and White adhesive backed peppermint embellishments, and they are adorable. All orders received by the 3rd of September will be ordered on the 4th of September and get out to you as soon as possible. I'm keeping the share open till the 15th, but any orders after the 3rd might be a little later in the month before you get them. Okay, guys, today is my new sketch challenge. So sketch challenge number 17. At some point today, this will be posted and pinned to the top of my blog. To the top of my Facebook page, and it will also come up on my blog so you can check it out. This is the sketch I'm going to be using for today's card. So I'm just going to set it aside for a minute, and then we will get back to it as I make my card. Mini catalog coming out for September. If you need one, if you're not on my mailing list and you want one, drop me a line at crazystampinglady@gmail.com or leave a note in the comments here and I'll get back to you and we can get you one of those. And then out of the annual catalog, this is product we're using today. So I am going to be using the Hearts and Hug bundle. I have never used this online before. In fact, this was actually the first card I made with it. It's adorable. I bought it, but I am not a cutesy gal. That's not the kind of stuff I usually make. So I set it aside thinking, oh, I can't wait to play with it someday, and then never did. So today we are going to use this, and then we're also going to be using that Wildly Flowering Designer Series paper from page 41 of the annual catalog. So all the products today are basically from the annual catalog. And again, this is the sketch we're using. Now our sketch challenge will run from today through the end of the month. All you need to do is make your own card using this sketch, and I mean loosely using it. You can change it up however you want, as long as somewhere in there I see some of this sketch. All you do is take your card, take a picture of it, and then post it in the comments of my pinned post on this Facebook page. You have till midnight on the 31st. On the 1st, I will draw for a winner and send out a fun prize to somebody. And I hope you participate. I do these for you. I do these for a jumping off point for your creativity. There's now 17 of them. Yeah, play with them, print them out, do something fun with them. So I'm going to set that right here, kind of under here. Let's see if I can get that under there a little bit. Hold it in place while we make our card today. So here are my elements for my card. I have just a basic white envelope, an A2 card base in crumb cake. That A2 is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have an inside piece that is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and another white piece for the inside that is, let me think, now I lost my train of thought there for a minute. That is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. Those will go on the inside. I have those same measurements on my outside pieces. So this one is my 4 by 5 1/4. This one is my 3 1/4 by 5, and this is Espresso and Misty Moonlight. And then a piece of our Designer Series paper that is 3.5 by 4 3/4 that we're going to be using on the front of our card. I have a couple circles, one that was punched out with the 2-inch die, circle die, or circle punch, which is an online exclusives only, and one that was punched out with a 2 3/4 inch circle, which is in the catalog. So look for those. And yeah, they're great for layering. They make a great focal point. So we're going to be using those on our card. And then I stamped a couple of these little guys. Not sure. Think that they're gerbils. Maybe they're guinea pigs. Maybe they're hamsters. I have no idea, but they are cute. I actually looked up pictures, and the one it looked the most like was a chipmunk, except it doesn't have those little stripes that a chipmunk would have. So maybe it's a compilation of many different cute animals. We'll see. So we're going to be playing with that guy. I have a strip for my sentiment that is 1/2 inch by 3 inches that we'll be using. And I also tied a little bow with our linen thread. So that's what we're using today. And let's put this together. I'm going to set this over to the side. And I think the first thing we're going to do is just cut the piece. Do I want to do that? Now, I'm going to put some of this together just so I don't have so many moving pieces on my, on my surface area here. So let's take my piece of Misty Moonlight for the inside. So both of the Misty Moonlight pieces are 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to add that to the inside. This is just to give my inside some character. I don't usually layer on the inside, but I have customers who send me cards that layer, and it always looks so pretty and so finished. So I thought for this one, why not? Let's do it to add a little bit to this sketch challenge. So that's going to go right in there. And then this is going to be my sentiment piece where I can write a letter to someone. So let's do some stamping since we have that right here. And I'll grab my envelope at the same time. And what we're going to stamp here is just some hearts. So I'm going to ink up these little hearts from the stamp set and put a couple up here like that. And a couple down here in the bottom. And then on my envelope, I'm going to stamp sending a big hug. And I am using Berry Burst for my stamping. It is just kind of a coordinating color for this bundle. So that's what I chose. And let's put a few hearts on here too. Maybe even a couple more right up here. There. Okay, so sending a big hug and obviously lots of hearts, right? So that's my envelope. That is done. Let's take our sentiment piece. And I'm also going to stamp that sending a big hug right on here in the middle, hopefully straight. If not, I'll flip it up. Not too bad. There we go. So that is stamped. And I think that's all the stamping. So now I can get rid of my ink pad. Hope you guys are having a great day. Like I told you, I'm a little nervous about the fair I'm doing tomorrow, the little vendor fair. It's not little, it's big, it's huge. And I just don't want people laughing at me. So pray that no one laughs at me that I have such a little bit there. But I'm also praying that some of the right people will come along who are looking for classes and haven't found someone that teaches them here, and that I can grow that part of my business, because I miss filling my classes so very much. That's one of my favorite parts of stamping. Okay, we're going to layer this white layer right on top of the Misty Moonlight, and look how pretty that looks and how finished the inside of that card looks. So I really do love that look. And because we don't have a lot going on, there's not a lot of weight to this, there's not a lot of depth to it, it should be fine for mailing with just one postage stamp. The weight definitely won't be there, and I don't even think the height will be there because we're only popping up one thing. So next I'm going to take my other piece of Misty Moonlight and do the same thing. Put some of our seal adhesive on it and center this on the front of my card. It looks like I bent that a little bit. Let's see if I can smooth that out. There I did. Right on the center of the front of our card here. And I really love the way the Misty Moonlight and the craft color go together. I wasn't sure I would, but when I pulled them out and put them together, I love the way that looks. The next thing we're going to do is build this piece. So this is my early espresso piece, and I'm going to build it before I put it on my card, just because I'm going to be putting all the layers of this piece on here, and I think it's easier to work with when I have this flat. So on my sketch, you can see I have all these little lines. You do not need to do this the way I'm doing this. You do not have to have as many panels if you don't want. You could just make 4 in the corners. You could make more panels if you want. In fact, if you have the retired die set that was patchwork pieces, we no longer sell it, but I know many of you purchased it. It has a design very similar to this. It just has 3 sections in each of these corner pieces. You could use that, and that would make it super simple for you. But I am going to use this DSP layer. Again, this is 3.5 by 4 3/4, and I'm going to take our paper cutter and we're going to cut this. So I am cutting it at 2 3/8. So 2 inches and 3/8. That is 1/2. 2 3/8 is 1/2 of the length of this paper, which is 4 3/4, just like that. And then I'm keeping, this is going to be the top part of my card and the bottom. I'm going to keep them in order and just turn them, okay? And I already forgot which is which, but it doesn't matter. The good thing is it's like a puzzle and I can put it back together, hopefully. Yeah, there we go. So top first, bottom below it. And it is kind of important to keep these pieces in order if you want your card to look really cohesive. So think about that when you're doing it. Now the other measurement was 3.5, so I'm going to cut this in half also, and that's going to be at 1 3/4. So let me get that straight and up to the top here. And I'm going to try to cut them both. I might have to go back and forth a couple times to get through both pieces. Oh, went through like easy peasy. Okay, so now we have 4 pieces. Let's see how they go together. No, not like that. Certainly not like that. Not like that. There we go. Okay, that go together like that. And they form like a little pattern. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to keep them in that order. This is going to get even more complicated in a minute. So I'm actually going to just set them out here on this side, so I have them in that order. And I messed them up already there. Okay, so there they are, like that. Now this pattern is kind of busy. It's got flowers all over. It probably wouldn't be too awful if you messed them up, but I am gonna try to keep them in the order. And following my sketch, I'm gonna cut each of those rectangles diagonally. But the diagonals are gonna go different directions depending upon which piece. So I'm gonna start with this first one, and I'm gonna cut it diagonally from the top left corner to the bottom right. I'm placing the corners of that piece in my track, and then I'm putting my cutting blade kind of to the middle of the paper, because if I pull in from either end, that corner is going to get kind of torn, and I don't want that to happen. So we're just going to take these two and put them right back here. Now I'm going to grab my right top corner, and we're going to cut that one from the right top to the bottom left, so just the opposite direction. So just think about the way you want your cut to go. Look at the diagram if you need to. Put your blade in the middle somewhere and then go both ways, and that way you won't ruin those corners. Okay, so that is that one. Bottom one is going to come from the bottom up, is kind of how we want it. So I'm going from the top right to the bottom left again. This matches the one that we just did. It's just in a different section. And then we're going to do the very last one. So I just did 8 different sections on here. Like I said, if you had that die, I think it makes 12 different sections. But you can cut these however you want. They don't even have to be even if you don't want them to be even. This is a loose sketch challenge, just something to make you think. Okay, so this one's going to go from the top left to the bottom right. If I'm thinking it through right, if I'm thinking it through wrong, I have a backup set I already cut because I try to be prepared. Okay, so there we go. That is all of our 8 pieces that we're going to use for the background on here. Let's get rid of our cutter and pull out our piece of paper. So I want a little bit of the brown to show between each section on here. Not a lot. There's not going to be a lot to show, so we're going to just use Tombow, which gives me a little bit of wiggle room. I'm going to come in here and put my Tombow on here. Not a ton. Remember, Tombow holds so well. You don't want it right up to the edge of your cardstock or designer series paper, because you want to be able to move that without it oozing out around the edges. I'm going to grab my tweezers just because it helps me place things. And we're going to place this up to this corner, leaving just a tiny little border of the espresso. So hopefully you can see there's a little border on the edge here. I'm going to do my next one. I'm just going to kind of go in order because that's the easiest for me for placement. Again, Tombow around the edges lightly, not right up to the edges. You don't have to have a tweezers, but I love my tweezers. It just makes placing things on my paper a little bit easier, like I mentioned. We're going to come in here and once again leave a little border at the top, and you'll see I'm leaving a little border between the pieces. Now hopefully this will be about right. I know there's not a lot to work with, so I'm not leaving too much of a border. And I think it should work out fine. So the next one I'm going to use is my side one again, because once I place this, I can see how much space I have in the middle for placing my top one. So I'm going to take this side one. Hopefully, are you seeing those in the, I think you can see which one I grabbed. Put this on here. So today I have some errands to run for my event. I have to go to the bank and get cash for my cash box. I have to go get a couple little things for my signage. I have to print signs yet that I want to put out for tomorrow. What else do I need to do? I need to finish my displays, make sure that my cards all fit in my display. Yeah, a few things, but it'll be fine. And hubby's coming to help me set up, so I won't have to do all the heavy lifting, which you know with my back is always a concern. So that will be nice. It looks very professional. In fact, she's doing this every month through December. I may book another one if this one goes well, but I've never done one of hers, so I kind of wanted to wait and get a feel for it. So hopefully she'll still have booths left if I want to book one. Okay, so there's our top two pieces. We're going to do the same thing with our bottom two down here. And don't worry if they're not perfectly even spacing. It's supposed to just kind of look like a shattered piece underneath it that's been cut apart. It does not have to be perfect. It's going to be beautiful. Just trust me on this one. And I did one earlier in another color scheme, same paper, just a different piece of it. So stick around till the end and you can see what I did with that one. So you can see here now how I can move this a little bit because I have that wiggle room with the Tombow glue. So there we go. Place this one. But I am kind of excited. I haven't really met a ton of people here in the area, and I think this will be a fun way for me to meet some new people in the area, even if they don't come to my classes, but of course I hope they will. And I also pray that I don't end up spending a ton, because seeing some of the products other people are selling, they look amazing. So I'm bringing some money. We'll see how I do. Hopefully I'll come out on the top end of this and not in the red too much. So fun. Wish you were all here and could come join us, because it looks to be an amazing craft fair. All right, almost done, guys. So now on this one, it doesn't really matter which one I place, because for this one, I'm using my guide as the bottom and this one up here. So we should be fine. And then one more and this part is done. So like I said, make this piece how you want. If you just wanted to do the 4 corners, the 4 rectangles, and leave them like that. If you want to cut them even into more pieces, if you want to cut pieces out and make them wider borders in between, whatever you want. I would actually love to see some of the ideas that you come up with by using the sketch challenge. And remember, if you enter the sketch challenge by posting your card in the pinned post by the end of the month, I will be drawing the next day for a fun prize. Okay, so there is my element to create this background on here, and we're going to place this right onto our card. So you can see how it's just a little bit easier for me to maneuver it, having it just here instead of on the card base, which is why I did that first. You could do it the other way if that works for you. I always try to figure out what's going to work the best for me, and I know that's not the same for every stamper out there, so you have to find what works for you. These flowers do have a right and wrong, so I'm making sure that they're going the correct direction. And then we're going to place this layer right there in the middle. So this Misty Moonlight, you can see, is being pulled out from here, and some of this craft color is in the middle of these flowers, so kind of brings the whole thing together. The next thing we're going to do is color our little gerbil, guinea pig, chipmunk mixture guy, something like that. And I'm going to start by coloring him by using our light Moody Mauve blend. Now I pre-stamped him with the Memento ink because I like it to dry completely before I start coloring so that it doesn't blend at all. So this was pre-stamped, and that's why that is done for you. I know you've all seen me stamp a million times and don't really need to see me stamp, but I like to give you a reason why I've done it ahead of time. I'm just going to color the inside of his ears and his tiny little nose here with that Moody Mauve, which is also a color that is in the Designer Series paper. And then I'm going to use my light Crumb Cake, and we're going to color him. And actually, I forgot one of my colors here. Let me grab it right here, I think. This one. No, I don't want that one. Which one do I want? I want a lighter brown that I did not pull out. Maybe I can use the Crumb Cake, the light Crumb Cake. Maybe that'll work for both. Let's try it. I'm going to put the Crumb Cake on his little hands here. Because we're adding darkness to his body in a minute, I think these will stand out a little bit. I'm going to use the nib end. It might be easier. I don't think it's the color I used on my other one. I can't remember. I didn't write those down. But I know it was lighter than his body. Could have been. Could have done this. Sometimes my thought process goes the same direction. Sometimes it goes completely out in left field. So you just never know. Okay, so there's his little feetsies, handsies, whatever they are. Now we're going to color his body. And I'm still using the light here. And again, these are our alcohol markers, our blends. So I'm just coloring him. One solid color at this moment. Coming around on this side. I kind of turn my paper when I color. It makes it easier to stay on the edge lines for me. I don't know if everyone does that or not. I've watched other colors, some people who don't. But that's definitely something I do when I color. We're going to do his little face the same way. Look at those pudgy cheeks. That's why he looked like a chipmunk, because I saw a picture of a chipmunk face forward like this with those pudgy cheeks. He must have had nuts or seeds or something in his cheeks, and he looked just like this, except that he had those little stripes on the side of his face. So I don't know. I don't think it's a chipmunk, but it kind of looks like one. Let's use that little nib end again to come in here and color around the edge of his ears. Just like that. Now I want to darken him up a little bit. So I'm going to come in with the dark crumb cake. And we're just going to go around the edge of his face here. I'm not going up on his ears. I'm going to leave those a little bit lighter like his hands. And then I'm going to come back in with my light crumb cake and blend that in together. Let's use the brush end. So I'm starting to go just around the edge, just over where I added that darker color, and blending them together by running over it again. And I know at this point you can kind of see lines there, but it will all blend together beautifully in just a second. Just believe you me. Okay. So now you can see how his face became darker than his body. We're going to do the same thing with his body. I'm going to take that blend, and I'm not going to do his hands or his feet, but I'm going to go around the edge of his body with some of the darker crumb cake. And after you do it once, if you want more, if he's still not as dark as you want him, I'm going to come a little bit under his chin here too, like there'd be shadowing. You can always go back and add more, which is so cool with blends, that you can just keep building up that color till you get it the way you want it to be. Now you could color him also with markers, and that would work, but you wouldn't get the same blending effect where the colors come together so beautifully. You'd be able to see more lines and definition to where you've colored. And so I love blends. You guys know I love blends. I don't think there's a day that goes by that I don't color with my blends. That might seem weird, but it is my reality. I'm going to come in here, and we're just going to color him very lightly on the belly so he's a little bit lighter there. And just look how cute he is. Isn't he adorable? And I think I'm just going to leave him like that. I think he's totally fine. So yes, if you know what animal this is, let me know. If you do go outside of the lines at all when you're using blends, which I see just a tiny bit by his feet, you can use our color lifter and come in here along there. And if it's light colored like this is, it'll come right up. If it's really dark, you might have to do that a couple times. But easy peasy to get rid of some of that extra color. Okay, we need to cut this guy out. I still don't know what he is, but we need to cut him out. And where are my dies? So here are the dies that go with this set. And it cuts out all the different animals in here. It cuts out a banner, although I wasn't going to do that, but maybe this, no, I'm not going to. I'm going to hand do my banner today. I think I wanted a little shorter than that. It cuts out hearts, some other hearts, flowers, more hearts, and like I said, all the animals, and then these little flower stems and grass. So there's some really cute little dies in here. We're going to use this one to cut out our guy today. And I'm going to grab a piece of washi tape. which I keep handy here for my die cutting. And I love this little mini cut and emboss machine. You guys have heard me say it before. It is so easy to use, and I love that I can bring it right up here on my table, no problem, and cut. We're gonna put this die around his body, and I just make sure that I can see the lines of him all the way around the edge. Otherwise, he's off a little bit. Okay, and then I'm gonna take my washi tape, and when I do my washi tape, I wanna be sure it's on my cardstock, on my stamped image, and over my die. That holds it in place as it goes through the die cutting machine. Let's place our plate on here and run him through. I'm gonna get it off my paper here so it's on a more solid surface. Just like that. And we'll come back and pull him off of that washi tape. And there he is. How stinking cute. This I'm just going to set aside for a minute. Hopefully I will not lose that die because I have had that problem in the past occasionally. Next thing, we're going to take our circles. Let's put our circles together. I think I'm just going to use some seal on here. I just have a white circle on an early espresso to kind of make it pop light on dark like that. I really love that for a focal point. And this is going to go right in the middle of my card, just like on here. Now, if you don't want to do a circle, do a square, do a rectangle. Use one of our fun label punches. Use that as your focal point. Whatever you want your focal point to be is fine with me. Try to get that pretty centered right there. And then we're going to pop up our little critter. So he's going to go right on top of there using some dimensionals. And I think 3 will be good for him. So are you guys getting any relief from all this heat? Are you going to have 90s the next few days? Or am I alone in this situation? Because I'm not loving it, let me tell you. Would love to hear what the weather forecast is for you guys. Okay, so there that is. Let's do our sending a big hug. And this is a little too long, longer than I want it to be. So I'm going to trim just a little bit off of here on each end. Like that. And then we're going to flag the ends of this. So I'm just going to come in on each end, about 1/4 of an inch. And we're going to come in from the corner to the top of that peak, corner to the top of that peak, just like that. Turn it around and do the same thing on the other end. Now, if you wanted to leave it really long like it was, you could just use the die that is in this set because it'll give you that same exact look. It is this same shape, just longer, okay? But for this sentiment, I didn't want that much extra white hanging off of my edges. Let me gather up all my scraps here and get rid of them. Okay, so for this, I'm going to take my bone folder and we are going to curve it in the middle so it stands up. And then I'm going to come back on each end and we're going to curve those ends up just like that. And then I'm going to add this to my card. And the way I'm going to do that is take a dimensional and put it right here in the middle. So I'm letting it lay here so I can see where the lowest point is going to be. And then I'm going to take my Tombow and I am going to put just a line of it on each side where I curved. Ooh, that's a little bit too much. So again, you don't need a lot of Tombow. If you have too much, spread it around. Put some of it over here. Let's do that. Too much is going to ooze out and you don't want that glue all over your card. So be very frugal with your Tombow. If you think it's still too much, you can let it dry a second. That'll help it from doing anything, or you can pull some of it off with a piece of scrap paper or your finger. But I think this one will now be okay. I'm going to come and center this down to the bottom. So I'm pushing that middle part down first onto that dimension. Oh, I guess I need the back off the dimensional. It won't work unless you take the back off the dimensional, guys. Hint for the day. Now I'm going to try that again. Place that so that's on there and then come in and on each side where I have that Tombow. So now I have that little bit of a bump in the middle and this flagged ends on here. Now these will squish in the mail, but they will pop up just a little bit, which is what I'm after. And then the final thing I want to do on this guy is I punched out a bunch of those hearts ahead of time from the dies, and we're gonna place them around the top here. And I'm gonna place 7 of them. So to do that, I'm just going to put a dab of Tombow right in the middle here, and then one in the middle of here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on this other side, same thing. Did I go too far? Nope, I didn't. Good. 5, 6, 7. Hopefully those are pretty even. So you can't see this one is in the middle of the white flowers. That threw me off for just a minute, but I got it. And where is my Take Your Pick tool? So we're going to use the Take Your Pick tool and this little putty end on here. And I'm going to pick up a heart and just lay it on top of my Tombow and let it dry on there. Let's pick up another one. Make sure that when you lay your hearts that they have the right side up, because they have a little bit of a design on the top. So flip them over if you're not sure so that you get them the right way. Place this one right here on this crease. I'm going to move it over. So that Tombow gives me a little bit of wiggle room to get it exactly where I want it, which is why I love Tombow for certain things. I'm not a Tombow girl for putting my layers together, but for certain things like this, it really works. I know many other demonstrators that use Tombow for all of their gluing, so nothing wrong with that, just not my thing. Let's see what else we have here. I'm going to have to flip this one, hopefully over, get it the way I want it. Well, that didn't work so good. Let's place that right here. And then I'm just trying to make sure they're a little even. If I wait till the end, that Tombow will be dry and I won't be able to move them. This one right here. And one more. This one right over here. So hopefully, if they're not perfectly straight, I have a minute to get them where I want them to be, hopefully. Oh, that one's good. Okay, I think that's good. So there are our 7 little hearts. Now I have a bunch more cut for other projects, and I'm just going to keep those aside here. And then I have a tiny little bow that I'm going to add that I tied with our linen thread. And we're just going to put that on here right down by the bottom here, by his foot. I don't want it covering up my sentiment too much, so a dab of that. And we'll lay the knot of this bow right on top of that. And then let that set so it dries. So you can see it's just kind of framing my little sentiment on there. And then the last thing I want to do is add some gems. You guys know how much I love. Well, you know what? I don't think I showed you the set. So while that's drying a little bit, let's do that. This is the Hearts and Hugs set. It has walruses, badgers, a mouse, and then a gerbil, chipmunk, guinea pig mixture. I don't know. Some little hearts, and then sentiments. Thanks, sending a big hug. So it's there when you need it. How cute. Sending a big hug, so it's there when you need it. Pretty cute. I could just hug you and sending birthday hugs. So adorable, adorable. Francis, if you're out there, I think you were on earlier. I know you're my critter gal. Great, great set. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, let's add our gems. I'm going to grab my rhinestone gems out of here. And we're going to add one of these tiny ones to each of these hearts to give this some sparkle. I love rhinestones. I have every embellishment I think we sell, and then all the time I use rhinestones, and I know that's true, so forgive me. But they're so versatile. They look good on any color. They have tiny ones that fit just about anywhere, like on these tiny little hearts, which is really, really cool. I don't know. I just use a bunch of them. I've stocked up on them. I have several packs, and I start to get a little nervous when I get down to only 1 or 2 packs left, so that's how much I love them. Place that one on there, and then one more right there. All right, guys, look at this little guy. That is our card for today. This is the card I'm giving away. Let me pull it over here now, and I can take this and show you that it matches the sketch. On my picture that I post here, it has all of the measurements the way I use them. You can change them up however you want, but I like you to see what I used. So those will be posted for you. The sketch challenge will be pinned to the top of this page. It'll be easy to find, so you can go ahead and post your card. Now let me show you the one I made before this, just so you can see another color with this. This was the first one I made. And all it did that was different was used basically a different designer series paper. And yet the coloring looks so different. Now these are both out of the same pack of paper. Okay? But I have the same color hearts, I have the same banner, I have the same other layers, but it really changes the look of that card. I like them both. I think they're both adorable. I have lots of grandkids. I can send them out. I will never, ever be short on cards like this. So this is the one I made ahead of time. This is the one I'm giving away. This is the envelope that'll go with it, and I hope you loved it. I'm so happy you took some time to be with me today. I hope you liked the card and are inspired enough to participate in the sketch challenge. If you have questions on that, just mention them here or drop me an email, and I will explain more about how that works if you're having trouble finding it. I am so excited to see what you create with this sketch. I think it is going to be really fun for you. It is a little different than any of the sketches I've done on my challenges before. Don't forget to leave your comments for a chance to win today's card. You have till tomorrow night to be entered to win, so I would love to hear from you. As always, I would love to be your creative coach and demonstrator. If you have any questions at all, would like a catalog, want to participate in the sketch challenge, want to have the fall catalog designer series paper share, just reach out to me in the comments or email me at crazystampinglady@gmail.com. I do plan to be here Tuesday. I hope you'll join me. Same time, same place. I'm pretty sure next week, both of my lives, I'm going to be doing sneak peeks from the upcoming fall catalog, so you won't want to miss. Till then, have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye.